Hello everyone, welcome back to be First in English, word formation. Every time I mention to my new students that we're going to talk about word formation, most of them react as if I told them I would be burning them alive and rubbing salt into their wounds, or worse. However, word formation is great fun. On the one hand, it's slightly mathematical and quite predictable, and on the other hand, immensely creative and imaginative. But to the point, if you hear about word formation and your first thoughts are, I don't understand it, it's stupid, it's crazy stuff, I will never get it, trust me, you're not the only one. Nonetheless, I promise I can guide you through it without having to memorize all those prefixes, suffixes, middle fixes, and God only knows what they mean and where to put them fixes. I'm sure we can make it. Look, it doesn't take rocket science only to remember two simple rules. Rule number 1. Use adjectives to describe nouns. Rule number 2. Use adverbs to describe verbs or adjectives. Let's repeat it. Rule number 1. Use adjectives to describe nouns. Rule number 2. Use adverbs to describe verbs or adjectives. Simple, isn't it? Now you're probably asking yourselves, okay, but how do I know which is which? English is a very simple language and it follows a very popular and simple sentence pattern, which is SVO, which stands for subject, verb, object. Subject is usually a person or a thing. Verb is the activity they're doing. And object is the type of activity which is being done. So let's practice a little bit. I prepared a very simple sentence, which is, I create movies. As you can see, it's subject, verb, and object. But if you look at the sentence from a different perspective, you actually see a noun, I, a person, verb, create, and another noun in a plural form, movies. So let's check if the sentence pattern works. I, movies, and our keyword is creative. We already know that we need a verb form in this gap, which is I create movies. Take a look at this sentence. I create, and our keyword is move. Of course, we know that we need a noun there. In this case, we need a noun in a plural form. I create movies. As simple as boiling an egg, isn't it? And now it's time to check if our rules actually work. Let's repeat it. Rule number 1. Use adjectives to describe nouns. Rule number 2. Use adverbs to describe verbs or adjectives. So let's build up a little bit and make our sentence a bit longer. I create movies. And our keyword is education. So we remember our first rule, use adjectives to describe nouns. Movies is a noun, so we have to create an adjective form of the word education. And that would be educational. So I create educational movies. Make sense? Let's build up a bit more. Rule number 2 says that we should use adverbs to describe adjectives. Let's take a look at the sentence. I create educational movies. And our keyword is high. The adverb form of the word high is, of course, highly. So, I create highly educational movies. Still works. But rule 2 says that we should use adverbs to describe adjectives or verbs. Let's check how it works. I create highly educational movies. And our keyword is usual. Now we need to create an adverb form of this word. So, I usually create highly educational movies. And that's it. All you have to remember is SVO pattern and those 2 rules, which are: rule number 1, use adjectives to describe nouns. Rule number 2, use adverbs to describe verbs or adjectives. Do you think that we could work on our sentence a bit more? I'll give you a chance to check what you've learned. Take a look at the sentence. I usually create highly educational movies because they satisfy my students. They satisfy my students is again subject, verb, and object. I will provide you with 3 gaps and 3 keywords and give you as much time as you need. Leave your answers in the comments. I usually create highly educational movies because That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I honestly believe that you learned something today. If you did, leave a thumbs up. If you want to share your feelings about this lesson, put it in the comments so I get the right feedback. So remember that this channel is made for you to be first in English.